What's up, gurus? So for today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the review on my 9-gallon Fluval Flexes. A lot of people say they have issues with them and stuff like that, so I'm going to kind of go through all that stuff and my experiences with it personally. I do have 2 of them running. It's an awesome tank, so let's get started. Alright, so like I said, we're going to review these guys. Any questions you guys have, let me know down below in the comments. Otherwise, if you guys could give a thumbs up if you like the video, and also give me a subscribe if you like the channel too as well. I got lots of other content between the puffers, the axolotls, and even some past monster fish stuff that unfortunately I did have to get rid of. But you can go down and check out the old videos and see that stuff. That is definitely something that's coming back in the near future to me. But anyways, back to the point here. So we're going to review these Fluval Flexes. Couple things that people have curious questions about and stuff like that are the lights and the filters and stuff like that being a complete setup. It's obviously, you know, everything's included. It does have the rear sump on the back along with the light built into the top. All you really got to do is add your substrate, your scape, your fish, etc. There's a space for a heater in the back as well, so that's kind of neat. And I'll kind of go through all that stuff as well with a little more close up and stuff. So my initial reaction on them, I love the way that they have this curve on the front. It really brings out the scape to your face, especially if you got a planted tank like this. Both these here are two totally different examples. This one's here is sand based. Both of them use Fluval stratum in the bottom. If you want to know how I set these up, I do have videos also. I'll put the links down in the description for you guys below. But yeah, if you got any questions on those, feel free to ask down in the comments or go over onto those videos and ask in those comments as well. Alright, so my first initial reaction on these, other than the obviously curved fronts on the tanks, or the lights, I was really curious if they would grow plants much like the pictures on the boxes show and stuff like that. Now these tanks, I don't use any fertilizers or any CO2 or anything like that. I just feed the bettas, and I have some ram's horn snails in here and stuff like that. There's an Amano shrimp and a nearite in this one. This one here has some autosynclus along with ram's horn snails, and then the platinum dragon scale there. As far as the lights go, the lights are really cool. You do have this remote here, so you can kind of change everything. You can switch off 2 tanks with 1 remote, so that's kind of neat. If you have them really close to each other, you can do that. But you know, you got your basic colors. You got your pinks, your blues. I can switch them up. I can do yellow on this one and blue on that one, or orange, or you know, reds, stuff like that. I do like to put this one on red and put this one on blue just because that's the color of the bettas. But anyways, what I usually do is I run pink, just because in the planted tank world, pink light definitely helps grow plants and stuff like that. So, but then you can obviously turn it up and down right here on the remote. So the sensor is on the top, so it's definitely a lot easier to stand up while you're doing, you know, your light switches and stuff like that. But anyways, like I said, I run the pink. I crank it all the way up, which like I said is cool. You can do it on both. And then white, obviously I want to run white lights with plants and stuff like that. It does have really other cool features and stuff like that, like thunderstorms, and you know, you can put the blue light on at night. Some people like to do that. Me personally, I just keep it simple, I guess. But anyways, that's about it on the light. Now the light's kind of cool because it does have the LED right on the lid like that, so that's kind of cool. It's all kind of in sync, but it is separate from the pump. So if the light stops working, you got your pumps here and your lights here. So if your lights stop working, at least you still have the pumps to, you know, run the physical tank itself. So as far as the filtration goes, so the filtration is really neat. You can kind of see it through the back here. There's a pump down on the bottom there. I'll try to put the light up here. You can see the pump down on the bottom on this side. The center is a sponge. This other side here is your port for your heaters and stuff like that. Oop, there we go. Mine is full of ceramic rings at the moment. And it does have a skimmer on the top, so it does suck through the floating plants and stuff like that into there. But yeah, you can run heaters in there, skimmers, all sorts of stuff like that. You do have your little feeding hole, or you can use it as a handle as well. But yeah, that's about it as far as the pump. I mean, it does have 2 outlets, so that's kind of cool. You can direct the flow. It's not too crazy. Obviously, you see Yondu's not, you know, flying all over the tank. Same with Pennywise over here, not flying all over the tank other than me digging around in there. But yeah, as far as that goes, filtration works great. All right, now the more in-depth things. So people say these tanks tend to leak. Now, in my experience anyway with rimless tanks, which these are rimless, they do sit on foam on the bottom, is when you're moving them, a lot of people will just grab the tank and move it just like a regular tank with trim. Now, if you research well enough and configure the weights and stuff like that, obviously like this tank here, if I tried to carry this around when it was, you know, full like that, even if I drained the water out, you know, that thing's still got some heavy weight to it, and that's putting all that weight right down on the bottom seal, which is obviously going to cause a leak. So that's the best thing I can think of as far as that goes, is definitely make sure you empty the tank before you try to move it. You know, remove as much weight as you possibly can. Being a rimless tank, the seals can come apart. Now, the other major thing is a level surface. A lot of people think you can just put a rimless tank on anything. It's not that simple. It has to be a smooth, flush surface. Otherwise, you're going to create variances in the bottom of it, which can cause the tank to crack, not just, you know, break a seal. It can also physically make the tank crack itself. So there's that feature as well. All right, so as far as plants go, as I said previously, I do not use CO2 or fertilizer in here. There is dwarf hairgrass in this tank along with needle leaf java fern. I do have some green hair algae, and then I do have some salvinia. I believe it's calcata growing on the top of this tank. There's one of the giant ram's horns I originally put in here to kind of start a colony of them in here to solve the diatoms that sand tanks create. If you notice, Pennywise here has diamond eye. I'll make another video here in the next few days about that. So make sure you get your post notifications on, and definitely make sure you subscribe so you can catch that as well. But yeah, we do have a little bit of green hair algae. I'll get in there with the toothbrush and clean that out. I did put ram's horns in here, being it's a sand tank. They are diatom machines, and as you can tell, the rocks are pretty darn clean. They may be covered in little baby snails, but they ain't gonna last forever. Once the diatom phase is over, obviously that phase will end as well. So the snails will start to die off. I'll have a couple big ones just to handle it, and then the autosynclus are hiding in here somewhere. They usually crash over here at night. Yep, they hide down in the rocks. Kind of cool. Something I didn't know that they did. But yeah, needle leaf java fern's growing great. As far as this tank's been up a little bit longer. This one does also have fluval stratum under the sand. This one's all fluval stratum. As you can tell, Yondu is starting to get tumors. Poor guy. We do have the tiger nearite up here. This chunk of anubias is just massive. Absolutely love it. But the hairgrass is just going bonkers in here too. It's growing underneath the anubias down there. It is completely almost swallowed out the star repens. I don't even know if that stuff's gonna make it. But I mean, you can tell it's still green. The leaves aren't super healthy on that stuff, but and then back there we got some rotella, and then there's what else is in here? Bacopa. There you go, hiding in the back. So this one's a little more intense than the other one. So, and then this one has Salvinia minima on the top there with Yondu hanging out. So, but yeah, as far as the ability to grow plants without CO2 and stuff, I'm highly impressed. I mean, hairgrass doesn't usually carpet that well, and I don't know if you can tell, it's growing pretty dang well in there. Same with this tank. I mean, this tank was planted pretty recently, so it's still a little patchy, but if you get a good angle on this side, you can see how much it's really starting to grab hold. So there's a little crypt back there that's barely making it, it looks like, so probably yank that guy out. But yeah, other than that, they definitely grow plants. They definitely don't leak if you take care of them. I love the light. I love the filter. I haven't had to change the sponge out in this just due to the low stock. These are also 9 gallons, just so you know that. But yeah, there's the pretty simple basic review. The autos came out to see the camera. Pennywise, we'll be back with you in a couple days. Talk about them dragon eyes. Get that algae out of there too for that video too. So, but yeah. If you guys got any questions, like I said, shoot them down in the comments below. See you in the next video where we talk about Pennywise's eye problem. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you love the channel. And also get the post notifications on so you can catch up for the next videos. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.